The system was telling me what was wrong the entire time. I just didn't see it. Let's talk about it. I'm sitting in front of my computer on a weekday evening in October of 2020, and I just finished deploying a machine learning model that will be used by a company to predict user conversions on their mobile app. Now, this company is based outside of the United States. It's a petroleum company, actually, and their app will be used by their customers to purchase fuel at one of the many gas stations that they own using a QR code. Now, this is something that I assumed was a big deal because it's 2020, in the middle of a pandemic, and everybody was into social distancing. Now, one thing about this particular project was that the machine learning model needed to be integrated into Power BI. They had Power BI dashboards that they used to monitor key performance metrics, and they wanted to see the predictions along with these metrics in the dashboard so it can better optimize user conversions, figure out how to optimize the user experience, and et cetera, et cetera. So here I am. I just finished deploying this model, and now I go to a test dashboard that I created in Power BI just to test this to see if this works. So I am testing where it works. I test the integration out in Power BI, and no surprise, it didn't work. Well, I guess it was a surprise. It didn't work. It didn't work. So I go back to Azure, which is where I deployed the model, and I start poking around, and I see an error message. I see there's some sort of error message. Some part of the request didn't work for some reason. So I'm starting to check. I look into my code implementation. I check the documentation to see if I missed anything, and nothing stood out to me as being incorrect out of the blue. Go through different blog posts. I check Stack Overflow. I check other blog posts or other articles online for see what I might be missing, because at this point I've looked at my code. I didn't see anything. I checked the logs. I took a glance at the logs. Everything seemed okay, but it just wasn't working. So I go send out an email to Azure support team. I described the problem that I was having, the things that I tried, and to get some insights of what the problem might be. And you know what they told me? A couple of days later, they sent me a message, and they said, check your code. The solution's in your the issue is in your code. And I looked at that message. I was like, what? But I was a little annoyed. I was like, okay, well, at least give me some more information. I gave you as detailed information what I was seeing. I was hoping you guys point me to some right direction other than, oh, check your code. I was like, okay, fine. All right, fine. I'll check my stupid code again. Let's see what's wrong. So I go back to the logs in Azure, and I did something a little bit different. I actually looked at the logs much more closely than I did before. And buried in lines of text was a Python message, an error message that I missed. And it turned out the runtime error was a variable misassignment, something that ran okay in my locally on my laptop, but didn't work in the deployment environment because of some versioning issue with the libraries that I was using. So I fixed the code, redeployed it, and everything worked like a charm. Everything was in order. Now, you probably might be wondering, why am I telling you this story? What is the point of me telling you this story? The reason why I'm telling you this story is because it points to something that I see when it comes to integrating AI into products, into systems. And when there's moments when teams have trouble, sometimes they think it's the issue is something very complex, and sometimes it actually might be. But oftentimes, The issue is much simpler than you think. And the problem isn't that you're not smart enough. The real problem is that you have a visibility problem. And the system might actually be telling you what is going wrong, but you're just not looking in the right place. Or, to be more accurate, it's buried and hidden in plain sight. It's hidden in logs, in metrics that are vague, that are opaque, that you might not understand, that you might disregard because they seem irrelevant. But I want you to consider that some of this information that you might be looking at all the time, that you might disregard, might be telling you what is wrong. This is exactly one of the things that I do for teams who are struggling with failing systems that are underperforming, that are not performing the way they expected. I help these teams parse through the signals that their systems are already telling them that they may not understand, so they can fix the right thing and save themselves hours of time focusing on the wrong problems.